We are here in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan to explore the beauty of pictured Rocks National Lakeshore. Hey everyone, this is Scott, or the Scott Man, and welcome. It is a beautiful day here in Grand Marais, Michigan. This is one of two entry points to the lakeshore. So you can either go into the pictured Rocks National Lakeshore from here in Grand Marais, or you can head over to Munising, over where the main rocks are. So we're gonna start off here in Grand Marais. It's a beautiful little small town right on the water at the northern end of M77. Some different shops. There's even a restaurant like this restaurant here at the Break Wall, where you can have a nice little quick breakfast or lunch before you head out to the pictured Rocks National Lakeshore. So we're gonna be checking out some cool sand dunes, some different waterfalls, then eventually head out to the rocks themselves where you can do some hiking, and then later in the video we'll head over to Munising, get some dinner, and of course go on a nice sunset cruise. Check out the rocks. So I'm excited. Let's head over to the National Lakeshore. All right, let's get the adventure started. So we are over here just about a mile or so west of Grand Marais, and we're over at the trailhead for Sable Falls. This is one of the many beautiful areas check out here in pictured Rocks National Lakeshore. There'll be a lot of cool spots we'll be seeing. We won't be able to cover everything because it's a huge area, but we'll cover some cool highlights. And why not start with that beautiful waterfall? Oh, really quick, one thing to point out too, you do need a park pass. It's like visiting a national park. So there's a visitor center about a mile or two south of here where you can buy a park pass, or you can get one back at the visitor center in Munising. Here are the Sable Falls. It's a 75-foot drop total. It's considered a cascade waterfall as the water comes tumbling down the sandstone over here. It is such a pretty sight. And then the creek continues its way over toward Lake Superior. And here is the mighty Lake Superior. Feel the fresh breeze coming from the lake. It's such a beautiful sight, although many ships have sunk in this lake during big time storms. So it is a beautiful menace, as I say a lot of times in my videos. So this is where the Sable Creek empties out into the lake over here. And then of course, if you look that way, that is the Grand Sable Dunes, which is a very large collection of sand dunes here along the shores of Lake Superior. So it's kind of like Lake Superior's version of the Sleeping Bear Dunes. And they're pretty cool. There's different trails that go off on them as well too. All right, so we'll start heading back. All right, made it back up to the top. If you head down the main trail this way about half a mile, that'll take you over to direct access to the sand dunes. But in addition to access over here, there's further access further west on the main county road that goes along the shoreline. So about a couple miles to the west of where Sable Falls are located, there's this nice little lake, or more inland lake. This is Grand Sable Lake, right along the main county highway. Such a nice pristine view over here. And just think, over on the other side of the highway is basically where the sand dunes are. There's another viewing point of the sand dunes over at the log slide trail, which is about a few more miles that way. So we're gonna head over there next. So we're just a few miles to the west along the county road from where that lake overlook we were at. And we're now heading over to we're at the log slide trail now, and we can get another cool overlook of the sand dunes. So here is a perfect overlook of the sand dunes. So if you look to the east along the coast, you can see a ton of sand dunes, and if you look over that way, you can even see all the way at the tip over there, the Sable Point Lighthouse. What a cool sight this is. Okay, so we're gonna head back. We're gonna get in the car. We're gonna check out another overlook along Lake Superior. So yeah, basically why this is the log slide here is a long time ago, this used to where they would send logs all the way down the dune, down to the lake for lumber to be shipped off. But today, some people will run all the way down and get in the lake and then walk the 500 feet back up. So yeah, good luck if you want to try to get back up to this point. All right, now we'll head over to the next overlook, heading west along the lake. So over here is a nice little overlook of Lake Superior. Very nice view. It's right along the Highway 50 or H58. So it's a nice, easy way to view the lake. And it's handicap accessible too, which is really nice. So if we would have gone back that way a little bit and up the coast back to the east, we would be heading over to where the Sable Lighthouse is, which we were able to see that from afar back at the log slide trail. All right, so now we need to head to the other part of the park. So there's many areas of the park, which unfortunately we won't be able to cover everything in this video just because it's way too much material, but I almost need to come back for a second trip at some point to check out some other areas. But what we're gonna be doing is we're going to the opposite end of the park over to where all the different like rock formations are, like Miners Castle and that area. And then of course, toward the end of the video, we'll be going on a boat cruise and see some cool stuff along the lake with all the cliffs. So, all right, so let's back in the car. Let's go back in the car and head over to Miners Castle next. All right, so before we get over to the area where Miners Castle is, there's a little turnoff off Miners Castle Road. There is another waterfall over here called Miners Falls. So we're gonna take the 0.6 mile long trail to get over to the waterfall. And that was Miners Falls. What a cool waterfall. There are so many beautiful waterfalls here in the National Lakeshore area. Very impressive, I have to say. But yeah, it's a very easy trail. You just have to take some steps at the very end though to see the waterfall, but very impressive. All right, so I'm gonna walk back to the car and I'm gonna head a little north to Miners Castle next. And we have finally made over to the cliffs here at Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore. Got a view of Grand Island all the way out that way, and then you look over to the right, we have Miners Castle, one of the most famous rock formations along the cliffs here. Kind of looks like a mini castle. It was supposed to have 2 turrets, but unfortunately back in April 2006, one of the turrets ended up collapsing due to erosion, so there's only one left. So it's kind of sad, but nevertheless though, it's pretty cool though. There's even a lower overlook down there too we can check out. And here's the lower overlook for Miners Castle. It's just right here. How cool is this? And not only too, but over at this overlook, if you look out that way, you can get a marvelous view of the cliffs. Just looks outstanding. For along the trail that's along in here, these are probably some of the best views you can get of the cliffs. To get the best views of the cliffs though, you pretty much have to be in the water, whether you're on one of the boat cruises, in your own boat, or even a kayak. In fact, this is a very popular spot for kayaking too. As I mentioned earlier in the video, we'll be going on a boat cruise this evening. So definitely looking forward to doing that. And then over that way too is also Miners Beach. So if you go down the trail a little ways, I'll show you where the trail is. You can head over to Miners Beach and you can go right onto the shores of Lake Superior and go swimming in the very, very cold water. Okay, so we made it back up. So over this way, this is the North Country Trail. So it's a very long trail system which takes you to all kinds of different areas in the park. This can take you over about a mile down this way, will take you over to Miners Beach, which you got to see a little bit of a glimpse of it earlier, or more so just a moment ago. And it can take you to some of the other parts of the area too, like the Mosquito Falls area. But again, you don't really get the best of views of the rocks from this trail. Myers Castle is pretty much the one that everybody sees from the trail. To see the other rocks, which we'll do after we get some dinner in town, will be from a boat. So Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore has all kinds of beautiful hiking trails you can go on. You can easily spend an entire weekend here. All right, so we're gonna get back in the car and it's time to head into Munising to get some dinner. And then we'll get ready for that boat cruise. And we have made it into the small little city of Munising over here at the southern end of Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore. It's a nice little community along M28. It's a perfect place to either begin or end your adventure at Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore. As a matter of fact, just a couple miles away from here at the southern end of the park is Munising Falls. It's another beautiful waterfall. Unfortunately, it is currently closed because the trail over to it got washed away from some rains that happened in the area earlier in the year, which is very unfortunate, but that's all right. So we'll go walk around for a little bit. All right, yeah, it's not really that big or anything, but it's a nice community. And I'm in the mood for some whitefish. Anytime I come up over by Lake Superior, I have to have some Lake Superior whitefish, and a good place to go here is Burger. It's a little small restaurant where you can get some great food like burgers and fish and some other cool stuff. So let's head inside and get some food.
All right, so we made inside. You just order at the counter up there. You can get burgers, chicken, and of course, what I have to get, the whitefish. So I got a whitefish basket here, 4 pieces of whitefish, breaded whitefish, hand-cut fries. You can get some coleslaw too. All right, so every time I come up toward Lake Superior, I have to get whitefish.
85.
This is pretty good. Like, it almost don't even need the tartar sauce that you get with the very good breading. I really like the seasoning on this too. Lots of pepper. Taste of lemon. This is really good. Great stop for food here in Munising.
Well, the fish was quite good, I have to say. Cooked very well. That seasoning and the breading is like, quite good, I have to say. Yeah, definitely check out Ed Burger here in Munising. All right, so after having a nice meal, it's time to head over to do a boat cruise on Lake Superior. Check out the cliffs of Pictured Rocks. All right, so for the ultimate cruise experience on the lake, check out Pictured Rock Cruises. They got different cruise opportunities to where you can go on Lake Superior, check out the Pictured Rocks cliffs. They got the classic cruise and then even a Spray Falls cruise, which is a faster boat but goes a lot further. But we're gonna be doing not only a classic cruise, but a sunset cruise, so we get the best light. Oh yeah. It's time to embark on a sunset cruise over by Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore. So we start off by heading out onto Munising Bay, where we get to enjoy the scenery along the shoreline. And then coming up on our left, we have the East Channel Lighthouse. So now it's time to check out some of the very cool rock formations along the cliffs along the shores of Lake Superior. So we're starting over here at Miners Castle, which we saw just a little while ago. It's the only rock formation which you can see from land too, but it looks even cooler from the water.
So we'll continue along the way. We see some beautiful caves and other cool rock formations. And of course, we have the iconic Lover's Leap Arch, where kayakers can go underneath the arch itself. How cool is that? And of course, as we continue, we see some more caves, some cool rock formations, and also there's even a very cool rock formation that looks like a giant head. You can even notice like where the eyes and the nose and even the chin would go. It's pretty cool. It's one of my favorite rock formations along the cruise. And then passing up this, we got other cool things like the Battleship rocks, and yeah, just very, very cool over here, including with Chapel Rock. All right, so now it's time to head all the way back, and basically the cruise will take you right back along the same features we saw earlier as we head back into Munising. And of course, you can look out at Lake Superior as well too, and it is such a pleasant ride. You definitely have to check it out around sunset.
What a fantastic way to conclude the evening in our adventure at Rocks National Lakeshore by going on a nice sunset cruise. That was phenomenal. Seeing all the cool rock formations and all the cliffs with the sun shining at it at a golden hour. That was so cool. This is my third time doing the cruise. I've done a couple other times in the past, but this was definitely the best one just because it was right around sunset. And in fact, there's even another cruise that they do like just up the road a little bit on M28. There's a glass bottom shipwreck tour which goes in the waters over here and checking out all the different shipwrecks around here. Never been on that one yet. I might have to check that out at some point though. But you definitely have to check out the Rocks National Lakeshore. There's so much to see. Like we almost felt like we barely scratched the surface in a way because there's so much to see and do. But you definitely have to check out for yourself up here in Munising, also in Grand Marais. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this adventure here at Rocks National Lakeshore. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click that like button. Don't forget to click that subscribe button so that we don't miss out any future adventures. Well, thanks for watching, and this is Scott, or the Scott Man, signing out here from Munising, Michigan.